Hey, and good morning. My name is Karen Willoughby, and welcome to the webinar. Today we're going to be talking about not letting bad reviews heat you up. We're in the middle of summer right now. Things are getting a little bit busier. We're going into our back-to-school season, which is huge for the eye care industry. And so we think it's really important to talk about your reputation and the reviews that your clients and your patients are writing about you right now. A little bit of information about me. I am the Senior Account Executive here for the Vision team at iMatrix. iMatrix is a full-scale web development and management company. Our Vision team focuses specifically in the eye care industry, working with optometrists, ophthalmologists, and opticians to better perform and increase your web presence. As a company, we have over 10,000 clients. We're at 1,300 in the eye care industry. We've been in business now about 15 years. The eye care brand here at iMatrix is about 3.5 years old. We are a BBB accredited business, and I think the most important thing to remember about us is that we are Google AdWords certified partners. So what that means is essentially we have a relationship with Google. Because of this, we have the ins and outs on how to perform as an AdWords company. We were recently recognized as having being in the top 90th percentile for AdWords performance for all of our clients, and we have over a 94% retention rate as a company. So throughout the webinar, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in. We will have a question and answer portion at the end, and we will also be recording this so that you may view it at a later time, just in case you have to pop in and out or something happens in the practice. Okay, so let's get started. So today we're going to be covering how reviews impact your SEO. We're also going to be talking about why responding to positive reviews matters. In addition, we'll be talking about what to do when you receive a negative review, as well as how your responses speak to potential clients. So within this course, we're going to be talking about all of these things and how they are important for your practice growth, as well as when you are responding, some of the things that you can say and do to respond to your potential clients. So the most important thing, you're probably wondering, how are reviews impacting my SEO or my web performance? So search engine optimization is anything that improves the internal and external aspects of a website in order to increase the traffic it receives from Google engines. So basically, SEO, the easiest way to explain that is Google is indexing websites based on searches that are done. So for example, let's say we're searching for optometrist in San Diego. The results that are given to us are ranked based on the factors from the website, some internal factors as well as external factors like reviews. So the way that reviews are impacting your SEO specifically they're external. They're considered external content. Online reviews, they're believed to make up almost 10% of search engine ranking factors. So 10% of the value of your website is based on reviews that are written about you online. Consumers love online reviews. I mean, think about it. How often do you yourself go to Google Plus or Yelp to read reviews about a company before you make a purchase from them or before you make an appointment to see that practitioner possibly? Because the consumers love reviews so much, it means that search engines love them just as much, since they provide online users the most appropriate results based on their search query. So search engines, their goal is to give the users or the searchers the most appropriate results based on the search that's being done. And because of this, they're going to give people what people like, and people like reviews. Positive reviews actually will impact your SEO because search engines are going to take what consumers value highly into consideration when ranking local web pages. So having a 5-star review over having a 1-star review is actually going to land you higher in the rankings, simply because that's what the users are going to want to see. You're more likely to attend or make a purchase from a practice that has a 5-star review over a practice that has a 1-star review yourself, I'm sure. And if you're not thinking about it as a practitioner, think about it as, a restaurant or a store. Something that has a higher review is more likely to get your business, so why wouldn't it be more likely to get a patient's business as well? So there are actually SEO keywords in responses. So when you're writing the response to a patient's review, I recommend using it as an opportunity to interject SEO keywords that can boost your profile on the review site. Now, it is important not to go overboard, and it is important to add them naturally. So, for example, responding with, "Thank you so much for reviewing our practice. As a leader in the eye care industry, or as a leading optometrist in our town," I would insert the name of the town here, "we do appreciate your business. We are very happy that we were able to provide you with dry eye treatment or contact lens treatment," and so forth. So see how I'm naturally adding in certain keywords that users might be searching for? Doing so within the response that you make to this review can actually help the way that you're ranking, because it's considered external content, and it will trigger the search engines to rank you higher and give them results that are coming up other than just your site. Now, another thing to remember is that social connections. These are very important for how the reviews are impacting your SEO. And the reason for that being is when a client leaves a review on your Facebook business page, their friends can see the client's activity in their newsfeed. So this actually will directly place your business in front of potential clients. I'm sure you've all noticed that on Facebook you can actually review a business. You can give them 5 stars and even make comments. Anytime a Facebook user does write a review for somebody or does give somebody those comments, their entire news feed or their entire friends list is able to see that within their news feeds, as long as they are following that client. So don't you think that it is a really great way for you to get potential clients, especially in your local area, especially if you think about the way that your clients are looking for you? A lot of times we hear that clients are looking for a practitioner. They use word of mouth. So, most of our clients come into the practice because of word of mouth marketing. Social media is word of mouth marketing on steroids. So social media that has reviews, or social media that has now integrated itself with reviews, has an even bigger impact on the way that people see your business, and thus has a bigger impact on the way that Google ranks your business, because at the end of the game, Google wants to give people what they like. So just to summarize, we know that search engines love online reviews, and we know that positive reviews help to improve your SEO. We do recommend including SEO keywords within your response and doing so naturally. So that response example that I gave you earlier is a great one. Just to repeat that, mentioning, "Thank you for reviewing our practice. We are the leading optometrist in the San Diego area. We appreciate your business. We were glad that we were able to help you out with dry eye treatment and fitting you for contact lenses." Notice how I naturally intersected keywords that your practice would most likely want to be found for within a response to that review. And then lastly, make sure that you are asking for reviews on websites that have social connections. So the top 3 are going to be Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. All 3 have a news feed. All 3 do feedback to your clients' friends and followers. And all 3 allow you to make a comment, a review, or give 5 stars to a business. So the next thing that I want to talk about is responding to positive reviews. Most of the time we only respond to reviews when they're negative. We think that we only need to pay attention to a problem and not pay attention to a solution itself. A solution would be a positive review. Somebody that's giving you a positive review, they're solving some of the problems that you may see earlier in your review list or may see down the road by getting a negative review. It's really great to be proactive rather than reactive, and part of proactivity is remembering that your patients, they're not obligated to leave you a review. So showing them appreciation is really important. You want to thank them for taking the time to share their experience, because this will leave the reviewer with a good impression and may encourage them to add more positive remarks in the future. So like I said, be proactive, make them feel appreciated. In doing so, they're more likely to review you or do you a favor later on down the road. In addition, there's a domino effect with reviews. A big reason to respond to positive reviews is that positivity, it gives way to more positivity. When current patients see your thoughtful response, they're going to be more inclined to leave a positive review of their own. Put yourself in a patient's perspective. If you want to give a patient, or if you want to thank a patient for a review, they're more likely to, your other patients are more likely to see this, and they're going to review you as well. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is the fact that reviewers are going to feel acknowledged. 71% of consumers who experience positive social care, i.e. a quick and effective response to comments, are likely to recommend that brand or business to others, compared to just 19% of consumers that do not receive any response. So 71%, that's a huge number. So responding, you're giving people more inclination to review you based on the fact that you're acknowledging them, you're thanking them, you're saying, hey, we appreciate your business. I did get a question that I want to address now. Normally I wait until the end to address these questions, but someone just said that responding with keywords, i.e. treating you with dry eye or fit with contact lenses, doesn't that violate HIPAA? And actually, it only violates HIPAA if the client did not mention it. So to reiterate when I said, respond, we were glad that we were able to fit you with those contact lenses. We were glad that we were able to treat your dry eye. That would be a response to somebody saying, thank you for the dry eye treatment. I really like my new contact lenses. That patient volunteered that information, and you're just acknowledging, hey, we appreciate that acknowledgement, and we are responding to that. You never want to respond and say, we were glad that we were able to treat you for example, pink eye, if the client does not mention that. But if the client mentions it first, you are totally within your rights to respond to it and acknowledge it. So the next thing that I want to talk about is what to do when you receive a negative review. We just talked about responding to positive reviews, which we obviously want you to do, and I can't stress that enough. Don't pay attention to only the negative reviews. Let's respond to those positive reviews. However, you are bound to get a negative review every now and then. People do have bad days. And here's some tips to handling those. The first thing that you should do is read the review again. You might be frustrated and you might be upset. Writing a defensive response is more likely to cause damage. So calm down, carefully read the review one more time, 2 more times, as many times as you need to, really look at this with a clear head, and try to distinguish the important details. So pull out the who, the what, and the how. The next thing to do is to investigate that situation. Speak with the staff involved. Get their side of the story. Like like the old adage is, there's 2 sides to every story, and then there's the truth. So if you're only hearing the patient's side, you're not hearing the staff side, how are you to really know what happened there? So investigate that claim. Find out what was going on that day. Find out where this consumer is coming from. And then do your best to remain objective throughout your investigation. So when you're determining who's at fault here and what actually happened to the cause, you want to be objective. You don't want to be defensive of your team or defensive of the patient only and accuse your team. The most important thing to do is just look at it as if you were an outsider. And if your practice is in the wrong, be willing to accept it. Now, in the response to review, obviously it is very important to respond, and respond in a timely manner. We recommend that you respond within 24 to 48 hours of the review being written, so that patient doesn't feel like you're then responding 3, 4, and 5 months later to an incident that happened. Getting a quick response often has an impact on the patient and the way the patient views you, but it also can help your practice because you're able to maybe rectify a situation within a return policy or within a claims policy that you may have. So in responding, even if you suspect the reviewer is wrong, always give them the benefit of the doubt. So express your gratitude to the reviewer for bringing the incident to your attention and provide a solution. Keep the response short and simple. If a longer response is needed, ask the reviewer to contact you in private. One of the tips that I like to give is mention to the reviewer, hey, please contact me today, tomorrow, or leave your information or privately message me with information on how I can contact you to rectify this situation. Because it shows that you are willing to go above and beyond and take your personal time to help this client out and help the patient to come to a resolution with the issue that they may be having. Because a lot of times the negative reviews are written for things that can be not such a big deal, but they're blown out of proportion because the patient's frustrated, things just happened, maybe they're having a bad day. So if you're able to calm them down, respond, be appreciative that they spoke out, and do so sooner rather than later, you're going to have a bigger impact on the way that your patients see you, as well as the reputation that you have both online and in the community. So to summarize this slide, let's talk about reading that review again. Take your time. Don't take a week, but sometimes it's good to read it, walk away for 10-15 minutes, clear your head, and come back and read it again so that you can look at it objectively. You also want to make sure that you are investigating the situation and doing so with an objective mind. So don't go into the investigation defensive of your patient or your staff. Look at it from an outsider's perspective. Try to remove yourself from the immediate situation when you are investigating. And then respond. Respond in a timely manner and respond with gratitude, and keep it short and simple. Like I said, always feel free to ask the patient to reach out to you, message you, or give you a time when you can call them to rectify the situation. So the next thing is, thinking about that response, how do these responses speak to potential clients? The first thing that this response does is it demonstrates professionalism. Potential patients will see by reading your responses that you are polite, professional, and genuinely value your patient's feedback. Once again, put yourself in a patient's perspective. If you have a doctor who's being aggressive or being defensive of their staff, do you feel comfortable going to that doctor and taking the chance that maybe something would go wrong with your insurance claim or go wrong with the product that you're purchasing, and then you would be kind of out that money, or you would be given the same headache that this patient's expressing? Now, if you have a doctor that says, we understand your frustration, we'd like to reach out to you and make this right, you're more likely to feel safe going there and taking that risk, seeing a doctor that you have not seen yet before. Now, another thing to think about is letting the patient know that their experience is important. So showing gratitude in those responses is really important, because when patients see a carefully thought out response to negative reviews, online searchers are also going to be able to evaluate how well you solve issues that are brought to your attention by patients. So once again, it gives that patient a peace of mind and comfortability to attend your practice or to frequent your business if they do see that you're giving them feedback, you're gratuitous, and you're objective in handling these situations. Now, another thing to keep in mind when you are responding to these patients is how, being professional, and the wordage and the verbiage that you use is very important. So you don't want to get too personal. Hey Mary, thanks for the review. It's great seeing you last Sunday at church. That's a great thought process. That's a great way to let your patients know you're personal. However, it might make some patients uncomfortable because they don't know who Mary is, and maybe they feel like, oh, well, if I don't know this doctor personally and I don't interact with them in their day-to-day life, will they appreciate me just as much? So saying, Thank you so much for your review. We really appreciate your business. It was great seeing you in the office. We're glad that we were able to fit you with those contact lenses that you mentioned in your review. Those types of things are a great way to respond. Also, you want to respond professionally to negative reviews, like I mentioned. Keep it cool, keep it calm. Talk about the solution and not necessarily the problem as well. So I want to review the topics that we discussed. We talked today about how reviews impact your SEO. So remember that search engines love online reviews, and remember that positive reviews are more likely to improve your SEO. The best way to get positive reviews is to start off with 1 or 2, because like you said, that just opens the floodgates and it will breed more positive reviews. Asking your patients for reviews is really important, and asking them for reviews in the right place. So places like Google+, Facebook, and Twitter are very important, and they're also going to be important social media outlets to be using for your SEO. When you are responding to increase your SEO, pay attention to the keywords that you're using in response. Make sure you're using them naturally and that they do flow. Now the second topic that we talked about is why responding to positive reviews matters. The reason that responding to these positive reviews is going to matter is it shows appreciation. Once again, it creates that domino effect, and then it helps your reviewers feel acknowledged. Acknowledgement is very powerful when you're talking about the way that your patients feel about you, and it's going to make them more likely to come back into the practice, as we discussed. The third topic we spoke on was what to do when you receive a negative review. So remember the advice. Read the review again. If you need to walk away, walk away. Come back to it with an objective mind. Investigate the situation also objectively. Look at it as if you were an outsider looking into the practice, not as the owner of the practice. And respond to the review professionally and graciously. So make sure you tell the patient that you're grateful for their review, you appreciate the fact that they took the time to reach out to you and let you know that there was an issue. And keep it short and sweet. Offer them a solution, offer to speak with them in private if need be. Now the last thing we talked about is how the responses speak to potential patients. Once again, it does demonstrate professionalism. Pay attention to the wording when you are writing these responses. Keep it professional, keep it light. And it lets your patients know that their experience is important to you, because nothing is more important than letting patients or consumers to your business or your practice know that they're important. So at this point, I want to open things up to a question and answer. I did answer a question earlier. I'm going to go ahead and reiterate the answer to that question for anyone who may have missed that. I received a question that pertained to HIPAA. I was making suggestions for how to include keywords into a response. I mentioned, we are so grateful that you came into our practice. I'm happy that we were able to treat you with dry eye or fit you with that contact lens. That was in response to a review that would have included, this doctor treated my dry eye, this doctor fit me with contact lenses. I love attending this practice, for example, someone might say, because they always give me the best glasses or eyewear. Letting them know that you are happy that you are able to help them out with that eyewear. Being specific by including those keywords is really important, other than just including those keywords unnaturally. So you want it to be conversational, but as far as HIPAA goes, responding to a patient, acknowledging something the patient has already stated, they're voluntarily providing that information, so there's no harm in responding by including those keywords. The next question I got was, what about Yelp? And actually Yelp's a great outlet for reviews. As far as Google goes, the top 3 places that Google looks at socially, and the #1 review site that Google ranks is actually Google+, and then the 2 social behind that are Facebook and Twitter. So while Yelp is important, there's a lot of politics involved with Yelp, so I would never sway customers from responding on Yelp. I always recommend that our clients claim their Yelp and that they keep them active, also responding on Yelp. But ask your patients, ask your customers to review you on Google+ and Facebook. That's going to be the most impactful for both your SEO. So someone just asked, who and when should we ask for the review, the doctor or staff, etc.? Actually, all. One way that the doctor could ask for a review is, hey, we're doing a really big push for reviews. We're having an event coming up. We'd appreciate your business. We'd really like if you would let the community know about our practice. Do you mind reviewing us on Yelp? Something like that. Both the doctor could ask, the staff could ask as well. One thing that I always recommend to clients is that you ask digitally, and here's why. If you're asking them at the time of checkout or you're asking during the appointment, clients have the best intentions. This patient might leave, they're going to go home, they're going to pick their kids up from school, they're going to walk the dog, make dinner, read a book to the kids, put them to bed, and guess what? They forgot about your request. Now, if you were to send them an email and you were to include a link to that review site that you're specifically requesting, so a link to your claimed Google Plus page or a link to your Facebook, maybe even a link to your Yelp, it's in their email inbox. It gives them a visual reminder, and it makes it easy for them because all they have to do is click that link and write that review. Another thing you could do is send surveys to patients. There's several tools out there for surveys. We actually have one here within our company and within our levels of service that would provide you with the ability to reach out, ask patients certain questions, and then at the end of that survey, anyone who gives you a positive response via survey, so at 80% or higher, they're actually automatically digitally prompted, so automatically prompted by email to review you. So do we have any other questions at this point about the answers that I just gave? Okay. Now, do we have any other questions at all? Well, looks like someone's typing something. So someone just asked, is it ever a good idea to not respond? My answer is going to be no. I would always respond, especially to negative reviews. Even if it's a thank you for your review, I'll be reaching out to you shortly to discuss the situation. You're not being defensive, you're being professional, you're being polite, you're thanking them, you're keeping it short and sweet, and you're reaching out to them privately to discuss a situation. I've had doctors approach me and say, I had a review that was written about me and it was obviously not my business. So I respond with this long, detailed response telling the patient that reviewed me, hey, I think you're talking about the doctor down the road. Here's my practice is actually this practice. Here's our address. Is it okay if we reach out to you to discuss this? Because guess what? That could be a potential new patient. If they were complaining about someone down the road, obviously they're looking for a new eye doctor. It might be. Now, as far as positive reviews, I always recommending responding even with a thank you. It doesn't have to be long. Just saying thank you for your review. We really appreciate your business. That's a great way to respond to a positive review. Like I said, I would include keywords if you could, if you have the time. But I never recommend not responding to a review. Because not responding just means that you're not acknowledging it. And you want to acknowledge, you want to interact with your clientele and your patients. So it looks like someone else is typing another question. Let's see. So how often should we check our social media was just asked. I recommend checking your social media within 24 to 48 hours, so at least a few times a week. Google recommends that you update and post to social media outlets at least 5 to 10 times a week. What we do offer here as part of our packages is we provide our clients with 2 posts a week to Facebook, 2 to Twitter, 1 to Google+. It keeps it active. As far as alerts, there are systems that you can put into place to alert you of a review within 24 to 48 hours. I would recommend looking into something like that because that way you're not having to walk in, to the practice, remember to check social media every day or every other day, you're still getting responses because we know you're a busy practice and your clients are probably coming in the door, 5 and 10 at a time, or at least that's what we hope. So we want to make sure that your social media is kept up with, but at the same time, you're not being inundated with it as well. So once again, if any of this seems overwhelming, or if you need help implementing any of these programs, definitely reach out to us. Our number is 877-739-5442. You can also visit imatrix.com and schedule a webinar or a demonstration to go over some of these topics and on a more personalized basis. Now, I did just get another question. Should a doctor or staff be dedicated to this job? A lot of practices I work with do have a doctor or staff that's dedicated to this. Some practices are just simply too busy. So like I said, if you ever feel overwhelmed or you'd like to dedicate or release this responsibility to a system or a company like ours, we do have solutions for you, such as our social media level and our reputation builder level, which is something that would be worth talking about. Now, as far as dedicating somebody to this, I would say yes, because it does keep things consistent. A lot of the practices I work with, they might dedicate 2 or 3 people, have them work as a team, but it's important to keep your thumb on this. It's important to be involved and to be aware. If you're dedicating 1 staff member to monitoring your social media, writing reviews, responses, make sure that they're updating you or forwarding those reviews to you and also letting you see the responses, because you want to know what's being said about you and your practice if you are the owner. Let's see. So it looks like someone's asking another question. I like this. This is one of those questions I've gotten in a little while. Okay. So somebody just asked, how many reviews should we be getting for our website? Okay, so someone just asked how many reviews are going to make an impact on your SEO, essentially, is what it looks like for our website to rank. Google or Google Plus, it actually requires 5 reviews to put those little stars next to your name in the Google local search rankings. So 5 or more is a standard. Facebook will start giving you the stars, I think, after you have 2 or more reviews. It's the law of averages. But I always recommend that the more the better. Think about it this way, the more the merrier. The more reviews you have, the more likely you are to wash out negative reviews, because most of your reviews are going to be positive. And if they're not, then that's another issue. That's something to address within the practice. So asking for reviews from, if not every patient that walks out the door, every other patient or patients that you know are satisfied is a really great way. Sending them those emails, sending them those alerts to, or surveys and alerts to review you. Getting as many as possible is going to be my recommendation. But the end answer is that it takes 5 or more to get the stars next to your name. So the expectation is that once you have 5 or more, Google will start rewarding you and ranking you higher. So do we have any other questions? So someone said, you said you update your Google Plus and Facebook twice a week and Twitter once a week. What do you say or update? So part of our service levels, we have 7 service levels here at iMatrix. One of our service levels does include social media co-management. Google recommends that you update your social media 5 to 10 times a week. So we actually update Facebook twice, Twitter twice, and Google Plus once a week. That's all you really need for Google Plus. We update with things that are eye care specific. So celebrity stories, memes, interesting stories or articles, anything that's going to get likes and shares. That's the ultimate goal of all social media postings. And that's our ultimate goal goal with our social media postings. So we want to create engagement, we want to create likes and shares, and we do so through posting co-managed social media updates that are eye care specific. So like I said, memes, interesting articles, or stories that are going to relate to your patients. So I'm opening it up to, it looks like we have one more question coming in. Don't be shy. And once again, like I mentioned, anyone who would like some further insight or a personalized demonstration or evaluation, give us a call at 877-739-5442. You can also visit us online at www.imatrix.com. All of our evaluations are complimentary, and we also have an exclusive attendee offer. So I have another question. So if we are really starting to pay more attention to this, would you recommend that starting with one, and if so, which one is not to get overwhelmed? So my assumption is that you're talking about starting with one social media outlet. My answer is going to be, we recommend the top 3 social media outlets for SEO performance for a reason. We could say, yeah, start with Facebook, but then your Google Plus will suffer. Google ranks you based on Google Plus, but it also ranks you based on Facebook, and it also ranks you based on Twitter. The easiest to start with would be Facebook, because Facebook for Business is very easy to navigate. It doesn't require much time or effort. You can also sync your Facebook with a Twitter account. It's pretty easy to do. Once again, you can give us a call and we'll show you how to do that. But Google Plus is going to be very important for the way you rank, and it's going to be especially important for that Google Maps section of the online rankings. And to claim a Google Plus, you actually need to reach out to Google, let them know that this is in fact my business. They will then send you a postcard with a PIN number or a password, and then you're able to claim, activate, and brand it. So my answer is I would recommend starting with all 3. It is easy to get overwhelmed with this. But like I said, that's why we're here to help. I recommend reaching out to us, or I can have somebody reach out to you today to discuss the way that we go about things and see if there is anything that we can help you out with, or at least give you a more in-depth tutorial. That might be the best solution for you. Now, what other questions do we have? So it looks like someone's asking another question. So someone just asked a really great question about Yelp reviews. So someone said that they have heard in the past that Yelp will only highlight your positive reviews if you're paying for their services. As far as I know, that's not been proven. However, it is always a good idea to have more positive reviews over negative reviews. And just remember that the only thing that's going to impact your SEO are positive Google reviews. Yelp reviews do not impact your SEO as much as Google, Twitter, or Facebook. But it is important anytime you do see those negative reviews out there to interact with them and respond. But I don't think you necessarily have to pay out to have your positive reviews highlighted. Like I said, that hasn't been proven, but I have heard that theory myself. So what other questions do we have at this point? So, that's a good question. So someone said they missed the first point. What does SEO stand for? First of all, if you did miss the first part of the webinar, you're more than welcome to view the recorded version. You should be receiving an email with that recorded version. We also do list them on our YouTube channel, so it's youtube.com/iMatrix. You can also go onto YouTube and search for iMatrix. But to answer your question directly, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. So in short, it's the way that Google ranks websites based on the information that they contain or the searches that are being done by users. Google will reward you for paying attention to certain rules or for implementing certain factors of an algorithm. There are hundreds of factors in these algorithms. Reviews are one of them. So is social media. So that's why we are focusing on reviews and how reviews will impact the way that you rank online. An optimized website will rank much higher than a website that has kind of been, so to speak, set and forget. That's one thing to keep in mind. So what other questions do we have? It looks like we're getting a couple more coming in. Guys, I have to thank you for interacting with this. This is probably the most questions I've had asked in a single webinar this year. So this is great. So someone just asked me when they should be checking their social media. And the honest answer is that's up to you. As far as updating or posting to social media, we do recommend posting at peak times. Research has proven that Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are the most active days for social media, meaning Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. So that's when we do our updates here at iMatrix. So that's what I always recommend to clients. So it looks like we have kind of halted on questions coming through. Once again, if you do have any further questions or you'd like to receive a complimentary evaluation, do give us a call at 877-739-5442. You can also visit us at www.imatrix.com. If you give us a call, call us now or call us today. You'll receive not only a free website evaluation, but an exclusive attendee offer as well. So thank you all very, very much for your time. I really enjoyed answering all of your questions and giving you some more insight into reviews and not getting too heated up this summer about bad reviews. Once again, remember that reviews are a very important part of your search engine optimization, and that we at iMatrix are dedicated to helping increase not only your SEO but your overall visibility and the amount of clients that are coming into your practice. So feel free to give us a call. That's 877-739-5442. And I wish you all a great day, and hopefully we'll see you next month.